Welcome to all of you looking to blend technology, teaching strategies, and emerging trends to create engaging educational experiences. In this video series, we're going to look at strengthening our creative muscles. Like any other muscle, our brain needs to be worked to allow creativity to grow. It's been said that we all have the muscle of creativity in our minds, but for it to consistently give great results, it needs daily exercise. Now, fortunately, there are websites out there like the eLearning challenges from eLearning heroes that can push us out of our creative comfort zone. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of these challenges and see what we can create. Hey guys, welcome to the video. For this video, we are doing a continuation of our work on eLearning Heroes Challenge number 384. Now I'll put a link to the original video in the description below, so if you want to go back and see what the challenge was all about and how we did the brainstorming through it, that's where that video will be found. For now, what we're going to take is this doodle that we have of a Thanos broken down into pictogram form, and we're specifically going to try and build this in PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm excited to see if we can make this work, so we're going to give it a shot. So here we are in PowerPoint, and I'll jump back and forth between this and the doodle so that we can see what we're working on. But I think we're going to go ahead and start off by building Thanos' head and body first, because those just seem to be the easiest. As with most pictograms, it should just be a circle and a few squares here and there. Also, being in PowerPoint and just using the shapes, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I'm using a lot of copy and paste while we do this. So there we go, a purple pictogram, but not very Thanos yet. I also didn't group a lot of the things in the body yet because I'm not 100% sure where the layers will sit, and I feel like I'm going to have to move around a lot of individual body parts at some point, so I'll do that later if necessary. But for now, we're going to go ahead and move on to the armor. Now this one uses a lot of rectangles and triangles. One thing I don't think I'm going to mess around with is trying to get an outline or any kind of color differentiation. I'll change the color and stuff if I need to, but otherwise I'm going for pictogram form and I'm going to leave it as a solid color. PowerPoint allows me to put borders on shapes, but with me using multiple layers and shapes on top of each other, I think it's just going to get wonky. So if I need outlines, I'll just do those on later with the line tool, but for now I think I'm just going to go with one color to keep it easy for time's sake, and just because I don't want to have to mess with that. Alright, and there. Once we get the left side of the shoulder pads built, I'm going to go ahead and group all of those together so that it can move as one unit. Now let's go ahead and copy and paste this entire group, and then I'm going to resize it just so it looks mirrored. I'll use the original one along with the PowerPoint guides, and that helps me make sure that the sizing is now right. We stick them together and boom, we've got some shoulder pads. Now I'll go ahead and use this middle piece to kind of hide where the connection point is, and I'm going to make that a little bit of a darker yellow, yeah, like that, so that it stands out a little bit, gives it a little bit of pop. So let's go ahead and move it onto them, and let's start resizing it so that it fits. Lastly, I'm going to go ahead and pull his head up to the front so that it's on the top, and that way it looks like it's sitting on top of some of the armor. Alright, next up is the helmet. Same as with the shoulder pads, we're going to build the left-hand side and use the manipulation of triangles and squares to get those curves and those points that I have in the doodle so that it makes it look more like Thanos' helmet. Now this one uses a lot more of the triangles and squares than what the armor did. I'm also going to go ahead and stick with the no borders thing I did on the shoulder pads, but I am going to make the majority of the helmet a little bit darker gold, and that's because it's going to sit on the shoulder pads. Otherwise, if I had them the same color, it's going to be hard to tell where the helmet starts and the shoulder pads start. Now, like I did with the shoulder pads, once we've got this first side done, we'll go ahead and group the whole thing. We're going to copy and paste it, mirror it, and then we're going to stick them together. Once I get it all set up like I want, change around some colors, I'm going to go ahead and group the whole thing together, and let's move it and put it onto his head. Alright, hey, that's not too bad for PowerPoint. Alright, so now lastly, let's make the thing that makes Thanos Thanos. We've got to build the gauntlet. Now this one's a little bit easier because of the shapes being used. We can build the glove with some simple rectangles, and luckily, PowerPoint has a trapezoid tool that we can use for the thumb. Now I'm going to add in a little detail on it by putting a line here to make it look more thumb-like. Then we can add in some of the circles for the stones and move them so that they nicely align with each other. We'll change the layering on it so that the thumb one kind of goes behind the glove. It makes it look more like a profile where the other ones are more of a front-on view. Lastly, let's change the colors to match the stones in the gauntlet. And now, being the gauntlet, I think I'm going to go ahead and put some borders around it to really make it pop out and stand out because the gauntlet is Thanos. So I want the eye drawn there first. Now I'm going to go ahead and group it all together. Let's rotate the whole thing together a little bit, and that looks like a pretty solid gauntlet. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back to the body. We're going to move the arms around a little bit so that they fit into the shoulder pads, and let's go ahead and slip that gauntlet on his arm. Oh yeah, that looks pretty sweet. Alright, a last final touch just so we don't have a random purple dude in here. Let's go ahead and add some of the chin lines because Thanos is known for that too. And there we go. We have a working Thanos pictogram. Now we can go ahead and copy the entire thing and paste them over. We'll take the helmet off, and now we have an Infinity War look, and we also have an Endgame look. Now I'm not going to lie, PowerPoint is not my program of choice to do this in, but I feel like we did a pretty solid job there. So, what do you guys think? Do you think it actually looks like Thanos? Did I get the representation of the Mad Titan pretty well in pictogram form? Now I'm also going to say this project took me about 30 minutes total to kind of do. Now some of you are probably better at PowerPoint. You might have seen ways that I could kind of make that process a little bit more efficient, speed it up some. So if you guys have any tips like that, go ahead and throw those down in the comments because I'm always looking to beef up my PowerPoint skills as much as I possibly can. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie, I had a lot of fun with this one. So I think I'm going to go ahead and maybe go into Photoshop and try to build out Thanos too. Maybe I'll do something where I take 30 minutes in Photoshop and then we can kind of compare up the two and see what the difference is. I don't know, but I think that's going to be fun, and I'd say if you want to see what that looks like, go ahead and hit subscribe on the channel, and that way if I get that video made, you guys will have it pop up on your inbox as well. In the meantime, if you do like videos like this where we're trying to take the technology and the educational strategies and merge them together to make those engaging educational experiences and lessons, go ahead and hit subscribe because we're always trying to push new content out to you guys. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and play around with another challenge and take it on, and I hope you guys will too, and I look forward to seeing what you guys create in the future. All right, thanks guys.